Hey there, future English speakers. Ready to unlock this whole awesome world of English?
Yeah,
We're going to take a deep dive into some really practical tips and cool tech tools that can help anyone learn English,
especially if you're just starting out.
especially if you're just starting out.
Yeah.
So think of us as your friendly guides in this exciting adventure of learning English in 2025.
Yeah, that's us.
Don't worry, we're going to explain everything in a way that's super easy to understand.
Absolutely.
We'll use simple words, real life examples,
Yeah,
and maybe even a few jokes along the way.
you got this.
You got this.
It's true. Learning a new language, it can kind of seem like you're climbing a huge mountain, you know?
Right.
But trust me, with the right tools and mindset, it's more like a fun hike
Yeah.
with beautiful views along the way.
Okay, so before we start packing for this awesome hike,
Okay.
let's figure out our destination.
Yeah.
Why are you learning English?
Yeah, why are you...
Is it to travel the world, talk to new friends, get a cool job, or just for the fun of it? It could be any of those.
Knowing your why, that's like having a map
Okay,
for your language journey. It
Yeah.
really helps you stay focused and motivated.
I like that. So it's like your compass, right?
It is.
It's pointing you in the right direction.
Exactly.
I got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Imagine you're finally visiting, that amazing theme park in Orlando you've always dreamed of.
Oh, fun.
Wouldn't it be awesome to chat with the characters, order your favorite snacks, and understand the shows?
Totally.
That's where even a little bit of English can make your trip so much more fun.
100%, yeah.
Yeah.
And instead of trying to climb that whole mountain all at once,
Yeah.
start with just small steps.
Okay.
Maybe your first goal is just to learn some basic greetings like hello, thank you, and please.
Yeah.
These little phrases, these are your first steps on the path to English fluency.
I love that analogy. It's like learning a magic spell. It is.
One word at a time.
You're building up your English power.
That's it.
And guess what? In 2025, we've got some amazing tech tools that can be your magic wands.
We do.
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah. So think of those popular language apps you've probably heard of, like Duolingo,
Oh, yeah, Duolingo.
Babbel, Memrise.
Mhm.
They're like your personal English trainers.
Yeah.
They've gotten even cooler
Okay.
with fun games, personalized lessons, and even AI features that help you learn faster and smarter.
It's true. And here's where things get really futuristic.
Okay.
Have you heard of ChatGPT?
Of course.
It's like having a super smart, robot friend who can talk to you in English.
It's amazing.
It can help you with grammar and even practice different situations with you.
Mm-hmm.
Need to practice ordering a pizza.
Yeah.
ChatGPT's got your back.
It does. It really does. It's like having a 247 language buddy
Yeah.
right in your pocket. You can chat with it whenever you want,
Yeah.
ask it questions, and even get instant feedback on your pronunciation.
And if you want to sound like a real English speaker,
Okay.
there are apps like ELSA
ELSA, yeah.
that can analyze your speech and tell you how to improve your accent.
I love that.
It's like having a personal pronunciation coach.
Mm-hmm. Now let's talk about building your vocabulary.
Okay, yeah, that's an important one.
Think of it like collecting colorful building blocks.
Okay.
Each word you learn is a new block that you can use to build awesome English sentences.
Right. I like that.
Yeah.
It's true. Flashcard apps are great for this.
They are, yeah.
You can create your own flashcards with pictures and even record yourself saying the words.
Exactly.
It's like a fun game of memory match.
It is.
Right.
Yeah.
And here's a cool trick.
Okay, what's that?
Follow word of the day accounts on social media.
Oh, yeah.
It's like getting a daily dose of vitamin English.
I love that.
Each day you learn a new word and you learn how to use it in a sentence.
Mm-hmm.
So it's super helpful.
Yeah, it's a great way to learn new words.
I love that. It's like a little surprise package of knowledge delivered to your phone every day.
It is.
Speaking of surprises, did you know that some flashcard apps now use AI
Yeah.
to figure out which words you need to learn
I know, it's so cool.
based on your progress?
It is.
It's like having a mind-reading English tutor.
Right. Pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, let's talk about training your ears to understand English.
Okay, yeah.
Think of it like learning a new song.
Okay.
The more you listen,
Mm-hmm.
the more familiar the melody becomes.
I like that. Okay, so podcasts and YouTube, they're your best friends here.
Yes, they are.
You can find podcasts and videos about literally anything you're interested in.
I know.
Cats, cooking,
Mm-hmm.
space travel, video games, you name it.
Absolutely.
Literally anything.
Anything. And there are tons of podcasts and videos that are made specifically for English learners,
Yeah, that's true.
they usually speak a little bit slower and use simpler words, which is perfect for beginners.
It's true.
So,
It's like having a friendly English teacher right in your ears.
totally.
And if you want to practice listening and talking with real people,
Yeah.
check out apps like Clubhouse and Discord.
Oh, those are good.
They have like chat rooms where people from all over the world hang
Mm.
out and talk about all sorts of things.
Yeah. It's like a virtual coffee shop where you can practice your English in a relaxed and friendly environment.
I love that analogy. Like a virtual coffee shop. That's perfect.
It is.
Okay, so welcome back
Welcome back.
to our English adventure.
Yeah.
Before we went on this like short little break,
Yeah.
we talked about setting goals, using cool tech tools, and training our ears to understand English better.
Right.
Now, let's open our treasure chest of learning strategies
Okay.
and find some shiny gems
Whoa.
that will make your learning even smoother.
Okay.
I'm excited for these gems.
One of my favorites, it's called chunking.
Okay.
It's a fancy way of saying, break things down into smaller pieces.
Gotcha.
So instead of, trying to swallow a whole watermelon at
Yeah.
once, cut it into like bite-sized pieces. It's like much easier to eat that way, right?
That's true. That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
So instead of trying to memorize like 100 new words at once,
Yeah.
focus on learning like 5 or 10 words each day and really practice using them.
Yeah.
It's like learning a cool dance move. You wouldn't try to learn the whole routine at once, would you?
Exactly. You start with those basic steps,
Yeah.
practice them until you feel comfortable,
Yeah.
and then add more moves.
Yeah.
Same thing with English.
Oh, okay.
Master the basics first, and then gradually build up your skills.
I like that. Okay, so now let's talk about active listening.
Okay.
It's not just about like hearing the words.
No?
It's about really paying attention and trying to understand the meaning. Think of it like watching a magic show. You don't just stare blankly at the stage, do you?
Oh.
You watch the magician's every move,
Totally.
trying to like figure out how they do those amazing tricks.
Right. So one way to practice active listening
Mm-hmm.
is by taking notes while you're listening to a podcast
Oh,
or watching a video.
Okay.
Jot down like any new words or phrases that you hear.
That
It's
would
like
be
you're
nice.
collecting clues,
Oh, I like that.
to solve the mystery of English.
It's like becoming a language detective.
Yes.
That's fun. And don't be afraid to rewind and listen to things.
Yeah.
Like again and again, the more you listen,
Yeah,
the more you'll understand.
totally.
Right.
Speaking of practice, let me introduce you to a cool technique called shadowing.
Okay.
It's like having a speaking coach right in your pocket.
I like that.
You listen to like a native English speaker
Yeah.
and you try to imitate their pronunciation, their intonation, and their rhythm. Think of it like singing along to your favorite song.
Ooh, I like that. So we can choose a short, like audio clip or video, listen to it a few times, to get the hang of it,
Mm-hmm.
and then try to speak along with the speaker like we're doing, like a duet.
Exactly. Don't worry if you don't sound exactly like them at first.
Yeah.
It's all about practice and
Okay.
having fun with it.
I like that. And speaking of practice,
Okay.
remember that repetition is your secret weapon.
Yes, it is.
The more you repeat something,
Mhm.
the better you remember it.
Absolutely. It's like learning to ride a bike.
Right.
The first few times, you might like wobble and fall,
Yeah.
but the more you practice, the
Yeah.
smoother you become.
Right.
And it's the same with English.
Okay.
The more you practice speaking, listening, reading, and writing, the more confident and fluent you'll become.
I like that. Repetition is like magic.
It is.
It makes things stick in our brains.
Yeah.
We can use flashcards, write down words and their meanings several times, or even record ourselves saying the words and like listen to them over and over again.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
You can even use music to help you remember like new words and phrases.
Oh.
Choose like a catchy English song that you love, look up the lyrics, and like try to sing along.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised how quickly you start picking up new words and expressions.
It's like turning your language learning into a karaoke party.
Totally.
Right.
And speaking of parties,
Okay.
let's not forget that learning English should be fun.
Yeah.
If you're not enjoying it, you're less likely to stick with it,
It's true.
So find what you love
Mm-hmm.
and use it to learn English.
Okay.
If you love watching movies, switch on the English subtitles and enjoy the show.
Yeah.
If you love reading, grab a simple English book or like a comic.
Yeah. That's fun.
And if you're like a social butterfly, find like online communities or groups where you can chat with other English learners from all over the world.
Ooh, that's a great idea.
Yeah,
It's like turning your mobbies into, like, secret language learning missions.
it is.
Right. And remember, it's totally okay to make mistakes.
Absolutely.
Everyone who's ever learned a new language
Yeah.
has made a ton of mistakes along the way.
Mistakes are like little stepping stones on your path to fluency.
I like that.
So don't be afraid to like stumble, you know?
Yeah.
Just pick yourself up, learn from your mistakes, and keep going.
That's great advice. And don't hesitate to ask for help if you need it.
Absolutely.
There are tons of amazing resources out there.
Yeah.
Like, teachers, tutors,
Mhm.
online communities, and even language exchange partners.
Language partners,
It's
yeah.
like having a whole team of cheerleaders
Yeah.
supporting you on your English journey.
Right. Speaking of like tricky things, let's talk about those quirky English phrases called idioms.
Oh, okay. Yeah, those are tough sometimes.
They're like little puzzles, you
Yeah.
know, that don't always make sense if you take them literally,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
So for example, if someone says like, it's raining cats and dogs.
Yeah.
They don't actually mean that, like furry animals are falling from the sky.
I know, right?
They just mean that it's raining really hard.
Yeah, that one always confuses me.
Yeah, it can be tricky.
Yeah.
Idioms, they can be confusing at first.
Yeah.
But they're super important for understanding like everyday conversations
Mm,
and sounding more like a native speaker.
right.
One fun way to learn idioms is like by creating your own flashcards.
Okay, yeah.
Write the idiom on one side and the meaning on the other side. You can even like draw funny pictures to
Yeah.
help you remember them.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
It's like creating your own secret code book
Yes.
of English idioms.
I love that.
Right. And don't be afraid to try using them in your conversations.
Yeah. Yeah.
The more you practice, the more natural they'll become.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about cultural immersion.
Ooh, okay, yeah.
It's like taking a virtual trip to an English-speaking country without even leaving your house.
Oh, that's fun. So we're talking about, like, watching English movies and TV shows,
Yes.
listening to English music,
Mhm.
reading English books,
Yes.
and even following English-speaking people on social media.
Yes. All of that.
Wow.
The more you surround yourself with English culture, the more you'll understand the nuances of the language.
Right?
It's like learning the secret handshake of English speakers.
I like that. Yeah. And you might even discover, like, new hobbies and interests
Yeah.
along the way. Maybe you'll fall in love with, like, British comedy,
Mm-hmm.
become a fan of American football,
Yeah.
or start cooking, like, delicious Australian dishes.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
The
That-
possibilities are endless. Now, let's
Yeah.
be real for a second. Okay. Staying motivated on your language learning journey, it can be tough.
Yeah.
It's like going to the gym. Some days you're like super excited to work out, and
Yeah.
other days you just want to stay in bed.
It's so true.
Yeah.
So what are some, like, tricks to keep ourselves motivated
Oh,
and
no.
excited about learning English?
One great strategy is to set realistic goals
Okay.
and break them down into like smaller steps instead of aiming for fluency right away.
Yeah.
Maybe focus on like learning enough English to, order food at a restaurant
Yeah.
or ask for directions.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
It's like planning a road trip.
Yes.
You wouldn't try to drive across, like, the entire country in one day, right?
Nowhere.
You'd, like, break it down into smaller chunks,
Yeah.
stopping along the way to, like, explore interesting places and rest up.
Exactly. And remember to celebrate those little victories along the way.
Yeah.
Every new word you learn, every conversation you have in English
Mhm.
is a step closer to fluency. Give yourself a high five,
Yeah.
treat yourself to something yummy, or like share your progress with your friends and family.
I like that.
Yeah,
Little rewards can make a big difference in keeping us motivated.
they do.
Right. And if you start feeling, like, bored with your learning routine,
Okay, yeah.
don't be afraid to switch things up.
No, absolutely.
Maybe, try a new language app,
Yeah.
watch a different type of movie, or find a new podcast to listen to.
Yeah,
Variety is the spice of life, and it's the spice of language learning, too.
it is. And here's another great tip. Surround yourself with English as much as possible.
Okay.
Change the language settings on your phone and computer to English.
Gotcha.
Listen to English music while you're, cooking or cleaning, and even try thinking in English during your day.
Whoa. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
It's like creating a little English bubble around yourself. The more you expose yourself to the language, the more natural it will become. Right. And don't be afraid to step outside your comfort zone
Yeah.
and practice speaking with others.
Yeah, definitely. Remember, every conversation, even like a short one,
Yeah.
is a chance to learn and improve.
Right.
And you never know who you might meet and connect with along the way.
It's like going on an adventure.
It is.
You never know what treasures you might find around the corner.
Totally.
Now, let's take a quick breather
Okay.
and then dive back in
Okay.
for our final round of tips and tricks.
Yeah.
All right, adventurers, we're back for like the final leg of our English learning expedition.
Woo!
We've explored the basics, we've gathered some cool tools and strategies, and now it's time to like unlock the secret vault of like advanced techniques.
Okay.
Get ready to level up your English skills like a boss.
Yes.
I'm ready.
Okay, so let's kick things off with a technique that might sound a bit fancy,
Okay.
but trust me, it's super helpful.
Okay.
It's called sight translation.
Translation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Imagine you have a text in front of you.
Okay.
Maybe like a news article or a short story.
Okay.
The goal is to read it out loud in English
Okay.
as smoothly as you can, like you're translating it on the spot.
Whoa, that sounds like a real brain workout.
Yeah, it is.
But you're saying we don't have to be like professional translators
No, not at all.
to try this.
No. Think of it like reading a recipe out loud while you're cooking.
Right.
You're not, translating it for a whole audience.
Right.
You're just practicing reading and speaking in English.
Gotcha.
Start with something like short and easy, like, a children's book or a simple news article, and gradually work your way up to more challenging texts.
Okay, I like that. It's like training our brains to switch between reading and speaking English seamlessly.
Exactly.
And you know what else sounds fun?
What's that?
Creating our own content in English.
Yes, that's a great idea.
Right.
Writing stories, poems, blog posts, or even making videos in English. It's
Yeah.
like taking all those building blocks that we've collected
Right.
and turning them into like amazing creations.
Yeah, it's a great way to like, practice using our grammar, vocabulary,
Right.
and all those cool phrases we've learned.
Yeah.
Ooh, I can already imagine myself writing like a funny story about a talking cat who loves pizza.
I love it.
But wait, what if I get stuck or make mistakes?
No worries.
Go ahead.
There are like tons of helpful tools out there,
All
like,
right.
grammar checkers and online dictionaries. Think of them as like your friendly writing assistants.
Okay.
And you can always ask a friend, a teacher, or even, a language exchange partner
Right.
to give you feedback on your writing.
Yeah, it's like having a team of editors
Yeah.
cheering us on. Okay, now let's talk about leveling up our listening skills.
Okay.
You mentioned something about transcripts earlier.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
Transcripts are like subtitles for audio or video content.
Okay.
They can be super helpful for language learners
Right.
because you can see the words while you're listening,
Yeah.
making it easier to follow along and catch everything. Right, right. So it's like having a secret decoder ring for English audio and video.
Exactly.
Okay, tell me more.
So you can listen to a podcast or watch a video first without the transcript,
Okay.
and then listen again with the transcript to see what you missed. You can also like pause and rewind
Right.
to practice, tricky words or phrases.
That makes sense.
It's like having a pause button for real life.
That's such a good analogy.
Right.
And as we get better, we can challenge ourselves by listening for like longer periods without the transcript. It's like training our ears to become super listeners.
Exactly.
Right. But speaking of challenges, is it really possible to train our brains
Oh, yeah.
to actually think in English?
Absolutely.
Mm.
It might sound strange at first.
But the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Start by simply replacing a few of your daily thoughts
Okay.
with English phrases. So instead of thinking, I'm tired, try thinking, I'm feeling sleepy.
Ooh, that's a good one. It's like giving our inner voice an English makeover.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And as you get more comfortable, you can start thinking in English for longer stretches.
Okay.
Maybe even narrating your day in your head,
Wow.
like you're the star of your own English movie.
Wow, that's next level.
Right.
Speaking of leveling up, do you think recording ourselves speaking English can help?
Oh, definitely. That's one of the best ways to spot areas where we can improve.
Okay.
Pick a topic you like, maybe your favorite hobby or a funny story, and just talk for a few minutes. Don't worry about being perfect. Just
Right.
have fun with it.
Yeah, so it's like being our own English talk show host.
Exactly. Then listen back to the recording and notice things like, your pronunciation, your intonation, and how smoothly you speak. Yeah. It's like watching, game footage to see how we can play better next time.
Oh, I love that analogy. And if we want to like expand our vocabulary and learn cool slang and expressions, movies and TV shows are our best friends, right?
Yes, absolutely. They're like portals into authentic English culture.
Cool.
Start with movies and shows that like match your level. So if you're a beginner, animated movies or sitcoms with simple dialogue are great.
Yeah.
As you get better, you can move on to like action movies or dramas with more complex vocabulary.
Makes sense. And subtitles are our friends, especially at the beginning.
Definitely.
We can like, read along with dialogue, catch any words we miss, and even pause to look up new words, like having a personalized language tutor built into our TV.
Totally.
Right.
Eventually you can challenge yourself by watching without subtitles or with English subtitles instead of your native language.
Gotcha.
It's like leveling up your listening skills to like expert mode. Now, here's the ultimate adventure for any English learner traveling to an English-speaking country.
Oh, that's the dream.
I know.
Imagine like ordering coffee, asking for directions, and chatting with locals, all in English.
I know. Wouldn't that be amazing?
That would be so cool.
Yeah.
But, even if we can't hop on a plane right now, we can create like a mini English-speaking world right at home. We can join online communities, chat with language exchange partners, listen to English music, and even like cook English recipes.
Yes, exactly. It's all about like finding those creative ways to make English a part of your daily life. And remember, learning a language, it's a journey, not a destination. It's like climbing a mountain, one step at a time.
One step at a time.
There will be times when it feels tough. But don't give up. Celebrate every small victory.
I love that.
Ask for help when you need it. And remember why you started this adventure in the first place.
I like that. Good advice.
And to never forget, there's a whole community of English learners out there, just like you, who are cheering you on every step of the way.
So keep practicing, keep exploring, and keep having fun with English.
Yes.